Hey folks, this is Mark from Harmonics, and today we're going to be learning this tapping lick. Okay, so let's get into this lick and take a closer look at what we have to do. So the first note is an A note. It's on fret 10 on the B string. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting by picking this note with our right hand. So what you can do is you could probably start with your finger on the 17, which is what we're going to be tapping, okay? So if you're an absolute beginner with tapping, this is probably a really good exercise for you too, because you're going to see exactly how it all works, okay? So your first finger is going to be on fret 10 on the B string, and with your finger on 17, you're just going to pull your finger up and toward you, like that. You're not going to fret the note necessarily, but you're just going to pick the note like that. Now, some people tap down in a way, and some people tap up. It doesn't really matter how you tap. The point is your finger is basically picking the string for you as opposed to the plectrum, okay? So personally, for me, I tap into the fret and then I pull up towards me. That's just how I do it. Here I'm picking the first note, which is 10 on the B. Then I'm hammering down my third finger on the 13 on the B. Then I'm tapping firmly down on the 17, also on the B. So let's do that again. And again. Okay, so if you get used to that, you can cycle that over and over, and you've already kind of learned how to tap. The main caveat with this, the thing you really need to watch for is this finger, this third finger, must leave the neck before you pull off with this finger. Otherwise, you won't sound this note. You'll sound this note because this finger will all still be on the neck, right? So let me show you what I mean. So if I go, see, it's sounding this note out. So now you can do that if you wish. That's a style to it, or a sequence rather, within tapping style. So you could do that if you wanted to, but for this specific exercise, we're not doing that. We're going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's like a minor triad. We're going 10, 13, tap in 17, take your finger away from 13, and then pull again, or pick the note with your finger if you like, so that you're sounding the 10 again to begin again. Remove your finger. Remove your finger. And by doing this technique and getting used to this and removing your finger before you release your right hand to pick, you'll get this kind of left to right motion of the notes going up in the scale. Okay, so the next part, the simple part actually, is we're just changing what note we tap with. So we're going from 17 to 18. Couldn't be easier. First cycle, 10, 13, 17. Then we're jumping to the 18. Like that. And in this particular sequence, I think I do a couple on the 17 and then I bounce from 17 to 18 and I get progressively quicker, just to give it kind of like an exponential ramp up in speed. So it sounds like this. I'll do it really slowly. Something like that. Up to speed, it will make more sense to me. So let me show you what I mean. Something like that. The way that I end it, the way that I like to end it when I'm really, really concentrating on it and I really want to get it perfect, is I kind of go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So I do this to end it, and that third finger has to be out the way. Remember, if you do it the way that I just did it just then, where you're going a little bit faster and faster and faster, you're going quite fast, so you need to really focus on getting this finger out of the way, or you can't end on a cool triad like that, and you can add some vibrato on the A note to finish it and then slide off nice, and the delay kind of carries it. It sounds really cool. That again slowly. And up to speed. If you notice there, I'm also starting with the tap, so the way that I usually do it, I just sort of naturally tap this way, is I usually start with the note. So I told you to start by not sounding the note and using it to pick the 10. I still believe in that, especially if you're learning this way, or I wouldn't be showing it to you, right? But for me personally, when I start this lick, I start with the 17 tap. So like that. So you can alternate it and see what you think. And but this is the fundamentals of tapping. Pretty much you're just using your left hand to do some basic things, and instead of like stretching up and doing something like this, you're just tapping. So I don't see why beginners couldn't try this, really. I mean, it's simply just a case of leaving your finger on the note, the bass note, wherever you're going to be on the neck. You can move this around, but the note intervals need to be the same. If you want to keep it minor, in order for it to be a minor triad, you must keep these note intervals the same. So here, between my first finger and my third finger, I've got a 2 fret gap, or a whole step and a half step, if you want to call it that. And then between my third finger and my tapping finger, there's actually 3 fret gap. So it's a 2 fret gap between the first and the third finger, and a 3 fret gap between my third finger and my tapping finger. So that's that. Give it a go and good luck. And as a bonus, I'm going to give you this little extra thing you can do. Exactly the same notes, but just a slightly different order, sequence order of notes. Check this out. Okay, so the bonus lick. All I'm doing here is I'm adding slide to these 2 notes. Okay, so I'm adding a slide from 17 to 18 and back. And it is a little bit more difficult. It's going to hurt the tip of your right finger if you're not used to doing it. It really kind of kills a bit when you first do it. But what I'm doing here is I'm going 10, 13, slide to 18, back to 17, pull off, and pull off there. So you didn't really hear that there, so I have to do it a little bit quicker or you won't hear it. So 10, 13, 17, 18, 17, 13, 10. And then I'm repeating that lick again. But this time I don't slide, I just tap. And if you remember in the first exercise, we were going through it, I said for this particular sequence, you have to remove your third. In this case, I'm not. I'm just going 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's tapping in a nutshell, really. Couple of licks there for you to try. The bonus lick at the end, a little bit more difficult maybe, but you will get there after you've worn some lines and developed a little bit of a callus on your right first finger. You should be able to do that without any real major problems. Also, I suggest beginners try this too, even though they might be a little bit intimidated by it. Just try it. It's an introduction to tapping, and the fundamentals are the same, whatever kind of tapping you're doing. So give it a try. Tapping grew up really in the 80s with Van Halen and other players like that, and as it's now grown in so much popularity and so many people are using it in their licks and their riffs and things like that, it's really something that you should try to learn to do. And I hope this video in some way can help you to do that. Just take it nice and slow, use a metronome, try and do it in time. Make sure the spacing between the notes is even. That's gonna transform the sound from good to great, believe me. And if you're looking for more challenges, a recent video we did was on a pentatonic flurry lesson. So basically really fast descending pentatonics in the key of E minor. You can check that out up here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Also comment, let me know if you like this tapping style, if you like the lick itself, if you're trying it, you've never done it before, how you're getting on, things like that. And share the video if you know anybody that would benefit from watching it. If you're looking for any coaching, we do Zoom online lessons. The details for contacting us can be found in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed that, and as always, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.